Last week, two alternative candidates vying for the position of Prime Minister of Canada dropped by Toronto to deliver speeches. Maxime Bernier and Andrew Scheer. Care to guess who was the stud and who was the dud? Well, talk about a tale of two leaders. First up, Max Bernier, the head honcho of the People's Party of Canada. He dropped by Ford Nation territory last Wednesday for a rally. More than 1,200 people packed into the venue. It was standing room only, and not only did Bernier bring passion, he brought substance, announcing PPC policy planks in a rapid-fire manner, all of which were met with adoration from attendees, such as cutting off UN funding and ending foreign aid and privatizing the post office and ending corporate welfare. He was lavished with roars of approval and smatterings of "We love you, Max," as Bernier continued to hit him out of the ballpark. Here's some video evidence of his promise that received the loudest ovation by far.
But also I know that you are waiting for that. You are waiting for that. We can save money also by cutting the CBC budget. Yeah.
What struck me about Mr. Bernier was his confidence, whether it was making jokes or rolling with the comments from the peanut gallery. He was so comfortable, so at ease. He looked and sounded like a leader, and he offered so much substance in terms of what he'd actually do if he were to take power. And after his speech, did he make a beeline for the exit? Oh, on the contrary. For well over an hour, Bernier remained shaking the hands of supporters and posing for photographs. And when we asked him for an interview, he was obliging and generous with his time. So then, 3 days later, I took in a speech by Andrew Scheer at the Ontario PC convention. The first thing that came to mind was the famous catchphrase of Wendy's spokeswoman, Clara Peller.
Manager.
Where's the beef?
Indeed, you want fries with that nothing burger? Check it out.
You can tell that this is a party that is excited to get to work undoing the terrible damage from the last 15 years.
Excitement, eh? No, Andrew, that's what's known as polite applause. And remember, he was in very friendly waters, a venue packed full of conservatives who want regime change in Ottawa. But you could feel a weird vibe in the room. It was like the audience was hopeful, desperate even, that Scheer would say something, anything, to ignite their passion. But with the exception of stating his opposition to a carbon tax, there were very few tangible announcements. But we got plenty of pregnant pauses punctuated by goofy smiles. Indeed, if one wondered how it is this guy got stuck with the facetious nickname Mr. Charisma, your answer was forthcoming within seconds of taking in this bun thrower of a speech. I mean, how could he not clue in that the audience wanted Andrew Scheer to be more like Doug Ford and less like Patrick Brown? Oh, but he gave him Patrick Brown 2.0. Hey, he could have talked about things such as border control and irregular immigration. Oh, but no, that's apparently third rail stuff. Besides, Mr. Scheer is seemingly obsessed by how his statements will be covered by the mean girls over at the CBC and the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail. I mean, if he talks about Canada protecting its sovereignty, well then, the media party might paint him as a racist or cold-hearted or, gasp, Islamophobic. As for us here at The Rebel, and by extension you, our cherished million-plus YouTube subscribers, well, sorry guys. Scheer just can't be bothered to slum it with the Canuck deplorables, it would seem. We're not members of the chattering classes. We don't sip champagne at the elitist soirees. So back off, bucko, although Scheer will divert his eyes and hold his nose should we choose to vote Conservative next October. That much he'll take from us. Oh, and when Scheer was done boring the PC rank and file to death, did he at least wade out into the crowd and shake hands? Did he stage a press conference? Oh no, He jumped right into his chauffeured SUV and got out of Dodge as quickly as possible. I guess he had something better to do on a Saturday morning, like taking another focus group meeting to find out how the Conservative Party should be more moderate and more centrist and more irrelevant. So in summary, my gut feeling is that I have to agree with recent polls showing that the Scheer Conservatives are destined to lose next year. As for Maxime Bernier and the PPC, it is always a Herculean task for a startup party to be successful. But at least Bernier exists as a principled alternative, someone who couldn't be more polar opposite to what we're getting from Andrew Scheer. From his passion to the lack of political correctness and indeed even an undercurrent of rage, yes, Mr. Bernier lives up to his nickname of Mad Max. Not mad as in crazy, but mad that this country is burdened by an unqualified weakling as Prime Minister and is being burdened by, well, an unqualified weakling who is the leader of the official opposition. But if the Bernier rally was any indication, he's just ramping up. And to paraphrase a line that's usually associated with Dr. Bruce Banner's green-skinned alter ego, the madder Max gets, the stronger Max gets. As for Mr. Scheer, hey folks, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's a really nice guy. And we all know where they finish. For the Rebel.media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, the Rebel has a new app. Please download that app and take the Rebel with you wherever you go.